Hi, my name is Kyndia Riley. I'm a kindergarten teacher in Laurel, Maryland, and I am in Tulsa, Oklahoma, just to speak on and advocate for children who have incarcerated parents.
When you think about coming to a state like Oklahoma, this is one of the states with the highest incarceration rate of women, of men, of minorities. Why is it so important to share your story and your voice right now?
So it's definitely important to share my story, just to talk about the impact that it has on children that lasts for decades, years, just to think about how my upbringing would have been different had I had both of my parents home. Both of my parents were incarcerated when I was 2 years of age and sentenced to life in federal prison. I was forced to live with my elderly grandparents, and in that scenario, I can only imagine what life could have been like if my parents were given a different outcome or just given another chance, not based on how they looked or based on their actions, but just to consider what it would have been like if I was considered ever. Yeah. As I've grown up, I realized that prison was never the rehabilitative center that it's made out to be. My parents went through way more traumatizing experiences than if they were sort of redirected and given a better opportunity to be able to sort of correct their wrongdoings. If it was, or even if they were placed in a better environment, instead of just being taken away for 20 plus years, hoping that sort of being in a box. And as my dad equates it to, he always says that he was sort of pinned into his grave early. He became a model for the people that were incarcerated amongst him. And it was always interesting to hear when he'd say, these young people are coming in here and I'm telling them they have to do better if they get out. But he saw that never-ending cycle while he was there. And people, he would give them the direction. They would leave and they'd come back. And he was there to see it because of his sentence. It is not the rehabilitative nature and center that it's made out to be. And it's not really a correctional facility because it doesn't correct anything.
Why does America need to focus on that? Because, these are people that we're paying to lock up. You could reallocate that money towards education, towards housing, towards funding. I mean, it doesn't matter your political party. This is not a political question. This is a human question.
Yes. And just even from being in Tulsa itself, just systemic racism as a whole and an entire, just to get to the sort of grassroots of understanding that the prison system makes money for America and the oppressive nature that it is. While I have every right to be bitter, I chose to take a better path, but there are humans like my brother that decided to take the route that my father did and copy him, and he ended up unfortunately being shot in the process of everything that was going on. And my dad constantly makes the comparison of just a shift in mindset, but would have changed the trajectory for both of us, but also a shift in the mindset of the people that put him there and even allowed for us to even have to make the choice would have made all the difference anyway. People need to just think more, but just think more humanely. A lot of the times when I really do consider where I came from and how I ended up in the position that I'm in, I think of a person that was just making a decision on a jury, behind a stand, someone just in a place of power had all of the time to make a decision, to think and ask a question of what else are they leaving behind in this life before they just go to prison for a negative action or a mistake. What did they do and what will they leave behind? And how does that weigh into the matters of them being put away for life? So I think if people just thought a little bit more compassionately and be a little bit more considerate, that it would definitely make a world of a difference. I really do feel and I believe that the generation that's up and coming is way more sensible, way more understanding, but they've been born into this realm of just generosity and a realm of just understanding and gentle parenting and nurturing. And I think that as we do begin to collaborate more and we do begin to work together, there will be a lot more understanding in the practices that are put in place, and it'll be more of a challenge. But in that, somebody needs to challenge like the very foundations that this country was built on. And I think that as time goes on, this upcoming generation will be the ones to challenge that, because they are sort of a monolith of individuality. They are advocates for so many different things, but they understand what's wrong and ill-natured, and they're not sort of coerced by grandfathered in techniques and anything that's in the historical narrative that is just not right. So I believe that this next upcoming generation is going to be the one in the force that changes a lot.
Boom! Where can people find more information about you? If you'd like to share that, you can, and if not, please shout out. Tell people to become teachers.
Absolutely. So I'm Kyndia Riley. I'm on Instagram as KYRISANN, so Kyrie San, and you can find me on Facebook at Kyndia Riley, KYNDIA RILEY. Thank you.